Welcome to the Reproductive System Lab. In this lab we will cover the basics of both the male and female reproductive systems. The ultimate function of the reproductive system is continuation of the species. That is, to pass on one's genetic material, your DNA, to your offspring. Both male and females have a set of gonads where gametes are produced. In the male, the testes; in the female, ovaries. Both male and females have ducts for delivery of gametes. In the male, the vas deferens; in the female, the fallopian or uterine tubes, also known as oviducts. And both male and females have structures for copulation, that is, sexual intercourse. In the male, the penis; female, vagina. Let us begin our study with the male reproductive system's anatomy. The male gonads, the testes, are located externally from the pelvic region of the body, suspended in a pouch of skin called the scrotum. The external position is due to the temperature requirement for sperm cell production, which is lower than core body temperature. As sperm cells are produced, they make their way through the seminiferous tubules to the site of storage, the epididymis. The epididymis is a highly coiled tube that extends upward, becoming the vas deferens, also known as the ductus deferens, and this structure curves around the urinary bladder. On the posterior side of the male's urinary bladder, the vas deferens merges with the opening of the seminal vesicles duct. Structures labeled in green are the urinary system. Inferior to the bladder is the prostate gland. Shown here in these models is a frontal view of the male's ureters leading into the urinary bladder in the pelvic cavity. You see the prostate is positioned just below the urinary bladder. In the upper right is a model to show the posterior view of the urinary bladder. The vas deferens together merge along with the seminal vesicles in the prostate gland. As seen here, the merging of these ducts form the ejaculatory duct within the prostate gland and then merges with the urethra. The urethra extends through the entire male organ of copulation, the penis. The penis is composed of erectile tissue, corpus cavernosum, which surrounds deep penile arteries, and the corpus spongiosum, which surrounds the urethra. These erectile tissues, upon sexual stimulation, engorge with blood, causing an erection. The tip of the penis is known as the glans penis. The glans penis contains many nerve endings that provide the feeling of pleasure for the male during sexual intercourse. Not shown in this model is the fold of skin known as the prepuce, or foreskin, which surrounds the glans penis. Let us now begin our study with the female reproductive system's anatomy. The female gonads, the ovaries, are located in the pelvic cavity. Each ovary is the site of oogenesis, or ova production. The secondary oocyte is ovulated from the ovary and swept into the oviduct, also referred to, as you recall, the fallopian or uterine tube. This is the site of fertilization. The oviduct connects to the uterus, or the womb, which is the site of implantation of a fertilized egg, the embryo. It has a superior position relative to the urinary bladder. Again, structures labeled in green are of the urinary system. This model shows a side view of the female reproductive organs positioned within the pelvic cavity: the ovary, oviduct, and uterus. You see the uterus positioned above the urinary bladder along with the urethra. The lower 1/3 of the uterus is the cervix. The vagina is a muscular tube extending from the uterus to the outside of the body. It functions as the female organ of copulation and the channel for uterine secretions, and also serving as the birth canal. The uterine wall is made up of 3 layers. The outer layer of the uterus is the perimetrium. The middle or the smooth muscle layer is known as the myometrium, and the inner lining is the endometrium, which develops and sheds monthly during the menstrual cycle if fertilization has not occurred. The vulva is the female's external genitalia. Surrounding the vaginal orifice and the urethra are 2 folds of skin, the labia minora and labia majora. And also, you see here, the clitoris. The labia minora is composed of 2 thin, delicate folds of skin surrounding the vaginal opening. Outside the labia minora are 2 folds of thicker, fat-filled skin, the labia majora.